Alright everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of West Ham United news. Now a couple of signings have already come into the club 100% now in Guido Rodriguez, Preseason Somerville and Nicholas Fulcrew. They're 100% West Ham United players. They posed in the kit. They're probably going to play tomorrow in our game against Celta Vigo in the Betway Cup at the London Stadium. But there still has been some more transfer news regarding players who will potentially be getting, also players who will potentially be leaving the club. So let's get into it. But before we do that, get these stickers from fcstickers.co.uk for the 24-25 season. Top quality stickers, West Ham, Spezial, you've got an Oasis one, you've got a Weekend Offender one. I'm sure you've seen them all before, but I can't stress it enough. They are the best stickers out there. So go to fcstickers.co.uk to get yours now for the 24-25 season. And even if you're not a West Ham fan, you can get them for any club up and down the 92 in the National League, for the England national team when that rolls around and we play in the Nations League or whatever. Just go get yours now using code BUBBLES5 at checkout for 5% off. It helps me, it helps you. Let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to address is someone actually leaving the club. Well, only for a season, and it is young Northern Irish talent Callum Marshall. He's going out on loan to Huddersfield Town in League One. Now, he went out on loan to West Brom last season, but he ended up getting recalled after not getting any game time. But that was in the higher end of the Championship. Now he's going into the higher end of League One after Huddersfield were relegated last year, and hopefully he can get some decent minutes and come back to West Ham and maybe get a couple of glimpses in the first team. He's supposed to be a very good player, so I really hope he does do well at Huddersfield after not doing so well at West Brom, and Callum Marshall is off to Huddersfield Town. And then another loan, but one league below, Patrick Kelly to Doncaster Rovers. He hasn't broken to the first team yet. He hasn't made any appearances for the first team. He came through the academy, but he's going out on a season-long loan to Doncaster Rovers in League 2. So once again, wish him the best of luck and hopefully he can come back as a better player. But going back to bringing players into the club, we need to give them some squad numbers, and we haven't actually done that yet. So James Ward-Prowse, who is obviously already at the club, is switching to the number 8 after he couldn't have that last season because Pablo Fornals was still there. Although he went to Real Betis in January, he still kept with the number 7 for the rest of the season, but now he's switching to number 8, meaning that 7 is free for Preseason Somerville, our new signing from Leeds United, for him to take number 7. Number 11 used to be Calvin Phillips' number, but obviously not making his loan permanent after a terrible loan spell at West Ham. Number 11 now goes to Nicholas Fulcrew, and hopefully he doesn't make the sort of mistakes that Calvin Phillips did, but being up front, I'm sure it's much more unlikely. Then number 17, you've got Luis Guilherme, our young Brazilian talent. He's taken the number 17 from what Maxwell Cornet had at the end of last season, but Cornet has now switched to number 22 after Said Benrahma left the club to go to Lyon. And finally, Guido Rodriguez, our Argentinian from Real Betis, on a free. He is taking the number 24 that used to be for Thilo Kehrer. Now, he has gone to Monaco after spending half the season there on loan. He's gone there permanently, so the 24 is now available for our Argentinian midfielder. And that is all for the number changes so far, unless we get some of the other players that are going to be mentioned in this video. No real advances made for Aaron Wan-Bissaka or John Duran, but both deals seem to be still on. Nothing's really been said. It's been a bit of a radio silence between that kind of deals. We've been looking at obviously plenty of other deals, the 3 that we've already got through and a couple more that we are looking at, but in that right back department we are still looking for other options, and one of them could have been Kieran Trippier from Newcastle. Now this one, he's obviously a good player, he obviously was a good player, but last season he kind of showed that he is probably towards the end of his career, and is someone that I wouldn't really want, and I would much prefer Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So I hope we don't get Trippier, and if we did get him, he must be at a reasonably low price, because if we're not going to be able to get Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we are going to need to get a replacement who is slightly cheaper or the same value. And now time for probably the biggest bit of news in the last couple of days, and that is Todibo from Nice. Now the French centre-back could be brought in and put next to Max Kilman, but he was so close to going to Juventus. They were talking and negotiating for weeks, Nice and Juventus, but nothing happened. No green light was given, and all of a sudden Tim Steidten has gone, right, I'm going over there. He's taken him back. He's completed the first part of his medical, obviously needs to do his second part to, if anything, sign for the club. And if we do get him, he will be on loan for the season, and then potentially buy him for 40 million euros at the end if we think he's any good, but I'm sure he will be next to Max Kilman to really solidate that defence. We also have to add on a sell-on clause if we get him, but this deal looks very close, and I love it how we're going so quickly in this transfer market, considering it was only last night that it was really discovered that this deal was going to get hijacked in the first place. And our final bit of news on the transfer front regards Kurt Zouma. Yes, that is right, club captain Kurt Zouma seems to be on his way to Dubai. Shabab Al finally it seems to be where he's going. The deal is complete. He just needs to now complete his medical, but obviously with his dodgy knees, who knows if he's even going to get past that. But hopefully it does get over the line, as we can save up to £4 million in wages if he does leave the club. Obviously we love him here. He's created some great memories, put in some great performances, scored some very big goals, but it is probably time for him to leave the club, and in that we need a new club captain. But Zouma, thank you for everything, and I hope everything goes well in that medical over in Dubai. So you might be asking, who is going to be the new captain? Now, with Zouma leaving, we obviously need a new captain, and I think it will be Jarrod Bowen. That has been the story circling around. He obviously signed a 7-year contract at the end of last season. Everyone loves him at the club. It would make perfect sense. The only thing is, maybe he's not as vocal, but who knows? I think he does have some good leadership skills, and the only other option I could potentially think would either be Edson Alvarez, who is very, very hot-headed, or Max Kilman, because he has leadership experience back at Wolves, but only being a relatively new signing, it would be quite weird having him as captain already. So for me, I would go with Jarrod Bowen, and if things don't work out, then I guess we'll have to change it. Also, nothing to do with the transfer market or anything, but Julian Lopetegui is now on Instagram. Here is his video announcing that he is over on Instagram, so I guess go give him a follow if you can.
Hi everyone, welcome to my official Instagram. Come on, you Lions.
And whilst you're over there, if you can, just give me a follow, Brexit Bubbles with an extra S on the end. Bit of transfer talk, announcing when these videos over on YouTube are out. And also, if you are interested on all the transfer news, you can join the group chat, East London's Latest, which I'm also in, which all talks about all the new West Ham news, players we're going to sign, players we're going to sell, everything West Ham. Go and follow them and ask to be added to the group chat, East London's Latest, if you are interested. And finally, our last pre-season friendly is tomorrow at the London Stadium at 3 p.m. against Celta Vigo in the Betway Cup. We could potentially win a trophy before the season even starts. I'm not going personally. I'm going to Crawley versus Blackpool at the start of League One, because I'm not really interested in that friendly, to be honest. But if you are going, then do enjoy yourselves. And here is a bit about Celta Vigo. Their main player is Diego Aspas, 37-year-old striker, who actually bagged 9 goals last season in the Liga as they finished 13th. So pretty good going for a 37-year-old. And if we do win tomorrow, then it will be a nice feeling going into that game against Aston Villa, as we will be back at the London Stadium for match day 1. It's also a good opportunity to play some of the new signings like Somerville, Fulkrug, Rodriguez, and obviously some of the players who didn't really play in pre-season, like Jarrod Bowen, Lucas Paqueta, Areola, just to name a few, coming back from their international duties at the Euros and the Copa America. And that is all for today's episode of West Ham United News. As I say, please go and get these stickers from fcstickers.co.uk. The best stickers out there for football, not just West Ham, but every club across the 92 in the National League, England national team, using code BUBBLES5 at checkout for 5% off. Be greatly appreciated if you go and do that, as I say, they are just the best stickers and something that you need on your away days to show who you are and mark your territory. But enough of that. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Again, be greatly appreciated. And until next time, come on you Irons, let's win the Betway Cup.